Hi, it's Jared from Strong Roots Farm. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be changing the oil in our Massey Ferguson 1840M. This will not be necessarily a universal video for any tractor, but I will go through the points and things that I think you should do, so it should help you with anything. If you have your manual plus this video, I'm sure you're going to be able to figure it out. Stick around, I'll take you through all of it. Welcome back, thanks for joining us. First, let's go through a few things that I use. And so I'm a wrench guy. I like to take my oil plugs out with a wrench. For this tractor, you're gonna need a 19 millimeter. Something weird about this 1840M is it has two of these oil plugs. And so you have to take out both. I do take out the first one, let it drain down, then take out the second one. They just made that oil pan over a shaft, kind of a weird situation. Also use some gloves. I'm a big gloves guy. I put them on, try to keep the oil off my hands. And so the best place I find to get these is Harbor Freight, not sponsored by them, but I use their 7mm gloves. And then I use some rags and some kitty litter in case I get it on the ground. I use 5-gallon buckets to catch my oil pan, whatever you're gonna do, and then a place to put your oil when you're done. I will tell you that these rags, I get them from Harbor Freight. They're not created equal. They're not all the same. And so some of these brands aren't very good. Find the ones you like, or go with a grocery store brownie, whatever you want to use. Those are the basics. That's really all I'm going to use for this video. All right, we'll have to crawl underneath the tractor, obviously, to take the plug out, and it is located basically right here, directly underneath the tractor. It's basically right above where your oil filter is. Now, I will tell you, Massey Ferguson, I never caught this before. This is very stupid. And so I had a front bumper on my Massey Ferguson, and I have to take that front bumper off in order to open up the hood. Very dumb design. So right here is our drain port. We're gonna put our wrench on there, loosen that up and take it out. And then I have my bucket right here ready that our oil will drain into. Now I will let you know, you can change the oil in this tractor without opening up the hood. You can get to everything physically to change the oil. But when I'm changing the oil on a tractor, I go through the incomplete maintenance things. We check all the tire pressure, we grease every fitting, we check every bit of fluid, I blow out my air filter. We just might as well, we have it in the shop, might as well go through and do everything. So we went ahead and did all that too. We blew out our air filter, we greased the whole tractor while the oil was draining. And so that is just part of it. But you have to take off the front bumper. So dumb. We've got our oil drain. We're gonna drain our oil filter just like a car. I have an oil filter wrench. I guess I didn't mention that in the tools in the beginning. You shouldn't have to use this. You should not be over torquing your oil filters, but if it's the first time you've changed it, which this is not, but if it is, you're probably gonna need this from the factory or some sort of an oil filter wrench. So let's go take this oil filter off and we'll get it drained now. All right, for the oil filter, I did go ahead and get a pan because they've put it in a position where if the oil runs down, it does have a chance to hit several things. It's not gonna leave a nice direct stream down into the bucket. And so we're just gonna loosen this oil filter off. I did go ahead and break it loose. I'm not that strong. And we're gonna take our oil filter off. Just like in a car, no big deal here. And then I'm gonna take this oil filter once I get it off, which it's a pretty small oil filter for this size tractor. And I didn't wear my gloves. Good thing my hands aren't getting dirty. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my barrel to let this drain out. Okay, so we have matched up our oil filter with the one we took out, just making sure that the, our farm store did not mess that up. Our dealership didn't mess that number up. It is the same. I am a big guy about paint markering my filters. So I don't keep a log. I used to keep a spreadsheet log of all my maintenance on all my vehicles and all my tractors and everything. I have went to this method to make things easier and be more accurate in my maintenance. So I'm taking a paint marker and writing the hours on my oil filters that I'm changing the oil. So if I ever want to know when did I change the oil last, I can see the oil filter and the hydraulic filter simply by looking at the tractor, and it has the hours right there on it so I know. So that's the way I keep track of all this. Yes, you can lose that and bang it up. I've never had that happen though. I've never had the paint marker come off. So you can get, I don't have a special brand, get them on Amazon, get them at the auto parts store, but I have a white one, a yellow one, and a black one, depending on the color filter I have for whatever vehicle. And I'm gonna write that hour on here after we put it on. There are a few vehicles that I have that it's hard to write on it, so I will write it on, wait a few minutes and let it dry. As we talk about the oil filter, there are people that are for and against filling the oil filter with oil before you put it on. This oil filter goes on horizontally, so any oil that I put in here will leak out, and I don't want to create a mess. but I will take and put oil around my ring just like any standard oil change. Okay, so we've got our oil filter back in and we went ahead and put both of our plugs back in. Another port designed by Massey. There is a plate right next to the exit ports for your oil. And when the oil first comes out, some gets up on there and it continues to drip. So then you have to reach up on top of this plate and kind of wipe it off and clean it off. I recommend you do that before you remove the oil, which I did not. And there were some grasses and stuff under there from bush hogging, and so I made a mess and had to clean that up. Second thing is that we'll remove our oil port, which I want to show you this. There is a ring, a black O-ring on here. You need to make sure that that stays on this because it did stick to the fill port, and it will consistently do that, so you have to check these O-rings. The fill port is another bad design, which I'll take you over and show you. The fill port is right here on the side of your motor. It's a horizontal port, which means your funnel is not going to stand in there on its own. You're going to have one hand holding the funnel and another hand to pour the oil in. If you have a front loader, it does help, and I have a flex hosed funnel, as you can see here, and so I'm able to lean it against this cylinder. But if you didn't have this flexible hosed filter or a funnel to go in there, this job is not as fun. All right, so we're simply gonna spend the next 30 minutes pouring oil through that filter very slowly because it runs very slowly as it's a flexible hose, filter, funnel, whatever. Let's talk about oil while that's work going on. So I'm using Shell Rotel. It is not recommended. I don't recommend you do that because it can void your warranty depending on your dealership. I've looked up specs, and so if you get the oil through Massey, the AGCO oil that they recommend, that they ask you to put in your tractor until the warranty is out, it has fairly good specs. It's very good oil. I've looked up the specs on their hydraulic oil and on their engine oil, very high quality specs. When you look at what are the other on-the-shelf oils that you can get from about anywhere that compare, the Mobile One is fairly close, and it's a cheaper priced oil, but it's not as good as the Shell Rotel, which matches up fairly close. There's little viscosity things that are 1 or 2 points off, nothing major there, and this is quite a bit cheaper than my dealer sells for. Now, I've seen some dealer pricing online, and I wish I lived next to those dealers because they are very comparable with the price of Shell. So you pick your poison here on what you want to do. If you're not going to use my advice is if you're not going to use the AGCO oil for your tractor, to get Shell Rotel, and that's the only two brands that I would trust. AMSOIL also does compare. It is in the same spec limits as this engine oil from AGCO, but AMSOIL is quite a bit more expensive. So pick what you want to put in it and you make that decision. I'm not telling you what to do there. Just as a side note for price savings for you as a small farmer or whatever, somebody working on your tractor, the best place I have found to buy oil is Rural King and TSC. I only buy oil in 5-gallon buckets, and it just saves money that way. This is actually a reusable jug that I've been filling with a 5-gallon bucket. Makes it easier to pour in. And so sometimes you can find the 2.5-gallon jugs on sale, but most of the time the 5-gallon buckets are the cheapest way to buy oil. And those two places, for some reason, that's the best place I've found to buy it. For all of my equipment, I go to there to buy my oil. That is it. I hope that video helped. It's pretty simple how to change your oil. Everything is convenient to get to. I will say that about this tractor, but there are some dumb things, as there are with a lot of equipment these days. And so just knowing how to get around them. Main things that you're gonna need to know is that there's 2 engine oil ports to relieve your oil, to get your oil out of the engine. It's pretty self-explanatory when you get under there and look. When I showed you in the video, you'll see those 2 ports there. It's a weird design. I've never seen 2, but you have to remove both. I do recommend that you check the oil filter number before you relieve the oil, before you remove the oil from your tractor, because if you don't have all the right stuff there, that could be a bad day and you have to run back to the store to get the correct one. I knew I had the right one before I started the video. Last thing I'll recommend to you is go ahead and break out your manual. It is a good idea to go through and check your manual when you're doing this maintenance, and double check your grease ports. So if you've never went through your maintenance manual and tested and looked at each grease port, every Zerk fitting through the manual as you're greasing, you might have been missing one. So go ahead and check those. We went through and greased the whole thing. We blew out our air filter with our air compressor, and we are doing an engine oil change every 250 hours. In case you were wanting to know the maintenance schedule on this, we did it at a 50-hour break-in. And then every 200 to 250 hours, depending on the season and when things fit in for us. I never go over 250, and I try to get above 200 hours before I change it. That's just kind of my window. And lastly, it is a good idea to get an air filter change with that. So if you're blowing it out and it's a lot of stuff is coming out, with these engines being a no DEF, no DEF fluid on it, it does need quite a bit of air, especially when that burner is going. So make sure if you're blowing a bunch of junk out, probably every 250 to 500 hours, you should get a new air filter. Look in your maintenance schedule in your book for that. But we blow ours out quite often, way more than we change oil, at least every 50 to 100 hours because of hay and the bush hogging and all the stuff we do here on our farm. If you're not doing that kind of maintenance on your air filter, you'll need to change that pretty regularly. And you can also, on the end cap of your air filter, write your hours that you changed it last to help you with maintenance there. Hope this video helped. If this is your first video from us, we're a farming channel. If you're into farming and homesteading, please check us out. Until next time, thanks for watching.